so many people, without realizing it, are deeply connected to RIETS. I grew up in a family that was not a YU family per se. Neither of my parents are Yeshiva University graduates. And I think if you would have asked my parents years ago what their connection to RIETS is, they probably would have said that they don't have any deep or meaningful connection to RIETS, without necessarily realizing that all of their shul rabbis were RIETS musmachim. All of the mechanchim educating their children, or many of the mechanchim educating their children, were products of RIETS as well. And I think there are many of people that don't fully appreciate just how deeply connected they are to RIETS.
I chose RIETS because I really wanted that balance of a halacha l'maisa type of learning, as well as the RTP classes, the training for education for the rabbinate, the pulpit, that I think that I've gotten over the course of the past couple of years.
Here at RIETS, I have had the opportunity and zchus of being part of the RIETS Furkoff program for mental health counseling, a program which allowed me to learn from great people in the world of mental health counseling and of psychology to help me with my future development as a Rav and as a community leader.
Currently, the skills I'm learning are public speaking, ways to interact with our community, and I think I use those on a daily basis. And I think it's been the most amazing thing to do while smicha. So I'm learning the basics, I'm learning the halacha, how to paskin, but also how to paskin, and how to say psak and halacha the best way people will interpret that.
I very deeply remember my course in pastoral psychology. It was a 2-semester course that I took at the very outset of my RIETS training, and what has struck me so much about that course is how much of the classroom typologies that were presented in the course I've really seen firsthand in my experiences as a Rav. Sometimes there's a bit of a gap between what's taught in the classroom and real life experience, and I found that in those courses they were really instrumental for me in understanding ways I can help individuals, understanding my limitations in helping individuals, even just diagnosing problems and getting people the help that they need. It was a really instrumental course for me.
Before I started teaching in MTA, I went up to my Rebbe Rav Goldvicht and I asked him for some advice. What advice does Rebbe have to help me in my teaching? And Rav Goldvicht told me one thing. They should love the Torah. Show them that the Torah is sweet. Show them that they should love the Torah also. So when I arrived in the classroom, and there was a Talmud who wasn't as capable of sitting in front of a Gemara and reading every single line, sitting in front of a Tanakh and reading every single line. And I noticed that the Talmud had more of a artistic side to him. So for one of the tests, I gave an option of a cartoon. And this Talmud sat down and he wrote a whole cartoon of the entire story of Shmuel Aleph that we were learning. And at the end, he came up to me beaming with the paper. And I thought, this is exactly what Rav Goldvicht was talking about.
A rabbi doesn't mean you come, give the drasha, and leave. It means you come, you say hello, ask how they're doing. One of the most important things as a Rav is being there for the shilas. And not even just being there for the shilas, but following up after the shilas.
The work that we do to care for people in moments of simcha, in moments of loss, in moments of spiritual triumph at a siyum, in moments of spiritual struggle, those are really the moments where we're doing our main work that is happening behind the scenes, rather than just those few minutes when we happen to be up on a stage or up behind the pulpit. Our job is to care for people's relationship with Hashem in the most basic sense. How many Jewish communities would not be there at all if it were not for RIETS, if it were not for a RIETS musmach who is going to some community anywhere and providing spiritual guidance that people can tap into and relate to, and without which they would no longer be connected to Torah and mitzvos.
When you see all these communities that are starting to grow, seeing that and knowing that more people want that growth, more people want kashrut, more people want mikvot in their community, having more people who are passionate about these things will allow Judaism to be more concretized throughout America.
The future of RIETS is exactly that, is the future of Klal Yisrael.
As we head into the uncharted waters of the future, what RIETS provides is only going to become more and more critical for the continuity of Klal Yisrael.